My name's Dr. Aqsaa Chaudhry. I am originally from Marshalltown, Maryland, and I did my undergraduate at Drexel University in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My undergraduate, I did a concentration in biological sciences with a minor in paralegal studies, actually. That is the quintessential question that every doctor gets asked, like, why do you want to go into medicine? And I think for a lot of us, it's very similar experiences and answers that we'll give is we really want to help people, and we come back with, oh, well, there's a million ways that you can help someone, but to really care for someone in their scariest moments, when they're not feeling their best, they may have some serious illness, they need a lot of support both physically and emotionally as well as medically, and to be there for them in that moment, nothing else can really compare to that. My journey with St. James started actually through Facebook. One of my Facebook friends was a student at St. James. I was like, okay, I have considered going to a US medical school, but it's not looking too great for me. I don't have the best academic background, but I can still try to utilize another approach, maybe go to the Caribbean or go overseas somewhere else. And I looked at St. James, and they were very affordable as a medical school, and everyone that was on Facebook or other social media, they all seemed to have very good things to say about it. So then I reached out to the admissions advisors here, and they all had good things to say about it, and I couldn't really complain about anything that was being offered. And to get an education at like 1/4 the cost of a US medical school, it's a good position to be in, and going forward compared to my fellow residents and coworkers in the future, I'm going to be in a better financial position. So I had the option of going to either the Anguilla campus or the St. Vincent campus, and after speaking with the admissions advisor, it seemed like Anguilla would be the better option for me because I did have a sciences background, and a lot of my fellow students, they also had a science background. A lot of them also had advanced degrees. A couple of them had master's degrees, so I wanted to be challenged. And the Anguilla campus, the professors there were going to be the ones to offer me the challenge that I needed. Basic sciences was a fun time, like living on the island. You don't appreciate it until after you leave, but being able to go to the beach after class just to de-stress before you start studying again. All the professors were very supportive. Dr. Ilyu, again, one of my favorites, and he's always been very supportive. There was another professor, she's no longer with St. James, but she was the student advisor, and she was also very supportive. And I remember one day taking an MBME, and I didn't do as well as I thought I was going to, and I just sat in her office and I was crying, and she's like, you started this journey for a reason, and you just got to keep pushing forward. Like, this is just one setback. This does not show your future. And I'm glad she said that to me, because I wouldn't be here today without their support. Living on the island is very different. You get used to a lot of the comforts of the US and being able to go anywhere at any time of the day and get exactly what you need with very expedient services. That's not the case on the island. Everything's much more laid back and relaxed. But that's one of the perks of being on an island, is that you get the opportunity to study. There's no distractions. Yeah, you get to go to the beach. There'll be parties, and students do go and explore, but there's always more opportunity to be less distracted, to go to the library at the end of the day, even on weekends, and you'll have that support system there for you. Everyone's going through the same thing. Nobody's working extra jobs or doing anything else other than studying. Preparing for Step 1, or USMLE Step 1, was one of the hardest things I've done to date. And even more so than studying for USMLE Step 2 CK or any of the other exams, because I've gotten used to it, but that was quite the hurdle to cross over. But having the support of other students, going to, again, the library is one of my favorite places to go to study, and there were other St. James students there. There was other students from other medical schools. Just having their support and knowing that they're also going through the same thing, and also having the support of the school, as far as resources that they provide, having access to some of the academic portions. I think the school was very helpful in easing that transition between going from after studying for USMLE Step 1 and then going to clinical sciences. Everyone in the office was very supportive. I was able to easily get into my rotations and actually schedule them quite far in advance. I didn't have to wait, and everything went very smoothly. And I consider myself to be one of the lucky ones. I know students in other schools, they don't know if they're going to get rotations or at what time, and St. James is always there to support you. My journey with St. James has been very different than other students because I got to experience it both from the perspective of a student and now the perspective of a USMLE counselor. So I've seen how it happens in the basic sciences and the clinical sciences, and now I've come to appreciate everything that goes on behind the scenes even more, like all the daily work, the countless hours that everyone puts in at the Chicago office, also on the islands, the deans, the professors. There's so much that goes into making sure that students are successful and are able to obtain the residencies that they want. And as a USMLE counselor, I've been very fortunate to be able to experience the academic side of medicine, not just the student perspective or the perspective of a resident. So I can really appreciate both aspects, and going forward, I think this is something that I would like to continue doing and continue being a part of the educational experience. Match day this year was almost like an out-of-body experience. I was not expecting to get the residency that I did. Like, I had an idea of what I would get into. Family medicine has been something I've wanted to do for a very long time, but the program I wasn't certain about. But the program that I did get into, they have affiliations with some of the larger universities in Philadelphia. So I'm heading back to Pennsylvania, and I'm really, really excited about that. And I'm really excited to keep my relationship going with St. James as well into the future. I think my future is looking pretty bright right now. Starting residency, having that fresh perspective and the fresh mind to hopefully make some, not changes per se, but to be able to give my opinion on things, to be able to take care of patients. And now I'm going to be the doctor. Like, I've experienced it as a medical student, but now I get to actually make the decisions, and I will have a greater and stronger relationship with my patients, also with the faculty, with other residents, and I'm very much looking forward to all the experiences that I get to have. I would definitely recommend St. James to anyone that is considering medical school, not just from the financial perspective, because it is a very affordable option, but just the sheer amount of support that you get. I know other medical schools, students have complained that getting paperwork done, being able to access rotations, being able to apply for residency, they don't get the support that they would need to be successful. And St. James has been there for me every step of the way, from basic sciences to step 1 to clinical sciences, step 2 CK, and now even beyond that. And you really can't get that experience anywhere else.